And there are absolutely racist people in this country. It is not the vast majority of people in this country, and I feel like
we don't know the FBI director said white supremacy is the biggest threat to our country today.
Well, that still doesn't mean that that's the vast majority of people. I just don't believe that in my day-to-day life that the people that you're encountering harbor racist viewpoints. I do think that this division that we're creating...
If you look like me, you would believe differently.
But you know what, listen, the woman...
So, but just to understand, are we saying, do we think the vast majority of Americans are racist? That's what I'm trying to... Help me understand.
I think that there is a significant portion that are racist, and you can't dismiss my lived experience.
And I never would say. I would never dismiss
when I say that there are a lot of racists in this country, I just experienced my son walking down the beach being called the N-word several times in Florida. So you can't say, I believe that the vast majority of people aren't racist.
But again, we don't know that. Fair. There are 300 million people in this country. I would never minimize your lived experience any more than I would mine as an Arab woman.
What's going on, everyone? It's Hostin here today, and I want to try to talk on this host Sunny situation, how she view hosts that a significant portion of Americans are inherently racist. So if let's say there was a significant block of Americans that are inherently racist, I believe it's the liberals. Why you say that, Kenny? Well, look at the views that the liberals have. Affirmative action, anyone? Isn't that an inherently racist statement to say that black people can't make it into college without special treatment, without special preference? That's racism, isn't it? Just like feminists will consider sexism for a man to try to open the door, right? This is the same concept that's playing out with affirmative action, DEI, right? You give certain people more consideration than others. You're creating racial disparities, which is what the left claims is racism. If I treat one person differently because of their skin color compared to another, isn't that racism? Whether the action is perceived as good or bad. If I discriminate against a black person, I say I ain't gonna hire this ninja, and this white person, I'm like, oh, white people, come on, I need all my workforce to be white. You'll call that racist treatment, okay? But if I go, I have enough white people already. I know you're qualified, but, we need more diversity on our team. It's the same thing. I literally just laid out the same thing. But this host here, she said, a significant portion of Americans are inherently racist. And based on her lived experience. Well, if you say based on your lived experience, then I'm going to assume that it's a limited experience. Therefore, you can't make the claim, just like you just criticized the other host saying, you can't say that not only a small percentage of people are racist when there's data to actually back up her claim. You can't say the same thing either. You can't say the opposite. You can't say a significant portion of America is racist when you have only little old you in probably a democratic place. That's where your son faced racism. He went to a democratic place. Sorry, this is the inconvenient truth. And he got called the ninja. And I'm a Florida resident. I'm born and raised in Florida. That has never happened to me before. The only time a white person called me the N-word was an Hispanic with white eyes, not white eyes, pale as hell Hispanic guy. Because in Miami, if you're from Miami, it's common for Hispanics to use the N-word. So that's not, maybe he was like, well, what's up, that's probably what happened. Oh my God, my son was called the N-word by his friends. Racial grievance is a problem in our country, bro. You got people like this girl, I forgot her name again, Sunny Hostin, and she said, if you look like me, you don't look like me, and I'm more likely to face racism than you. We have this, what happened to colorism, huh? What happened to this idea that black people used to have that, mixed people, red bones, light-skinned black people face less racism than dark-skinned black people because they can get away with it. They're more racially ambiguous, so it's hard to call them an N-word. But the Sunny here saying, if you look like me, you understand. Huh? That's how you know she lying, bro. She lying about this story, bro. Come on. Her son got called. Oh, my son got called the N-word. By his friends or by his bully? Which one is it? I don't believe you. And before, people used to have to verify their lived experience, but we live in a culture now where we want to spare people's feelings, their self-esteem, so we don't question them anymore. And on my other point, I'm going to show you guys a clip on that verifies an idea of racism that liberals are the greatest perpetrator of. This condescending, I am your savior, you're a helpless victim, you can do nothing for yourself because of your skin color. This is what happens when people see color. So if Sunny's mad that a significant portion of America are inherently racist, then she's probably talking about white liberals. Let's take a look. We're going back to the topic of white guilt. Let's take a look.
So it's really just white people are bad. Have a nice day.
Well, I phrased it somewhat differently. I said, whoever said compound interest is the greatest force in the universe, and by the way, I checked, it wasn't Einstein who said it. Whoever said compound interest is the greatest force in the universe never encountered white guilt. I just think there's a whole bunch of white people that feel really, really bad about slavery, really, really bad about Jim Crow, really, really bad about how black people used to be treated, and this is their way of making up.
I hear you. And I can understand that, but I kind of think they're just white supremacists. And I mean that in the literal sense. We saw that Yale study we love to cite where white liberals speak down to black people and white conservatives don't. White conservatives meet a black guy, they talk to him like normal. White liberals, they dumb themselves
what up,
down.
Cuz? What up?
but not even that. They use second grade vocabulary. Like these people, in my mind, I don't think they have white guilt. I think they have a white superiority complex where they imagine them going like, well, we're so much better than they are. They need our help.
So I asked my question again for people in my comment section. Is it racist to you have a high level of vocabulary? And this is one thing I try not to do either. I try not to like dumb down my speech. I just talk like, I don't treat people differently. I talk the same way that I talk in person. I have the same kind of cadence. I don't go out and be like, oh, I'm gonna use virtuous, and I don't like using big words because I feel like it doesn't help with communication to a large mass of people. And the idea that when a white liberal talks to a black person, they feel like they have to like, oh, I have to talk to second grade language. What's up, dog? I got hot sauce in my purse. Hillary Clinton, right? Oh, they don't relate to other people. They don't know how to relate to other people, so we have to relate to them. Because we're so much better than them, as Tim Pool so accurately described. And that's something that's based on my lived experience is often true with liberals, especially the white ones. They have this attitude that they know what's best for you, right? If you go against their worldview, that you're dumb. Only smart people are liberals. Dumb people are conservatives. That's the attitude a lot of white liberals have. And if they meet a black person like me who don't see his skin color as a handicap, as a setback, they heard me say racism is like as a minor problem in my life, they almost had a heart attack. White liberals, they couldn't believe it. What? A black man that don't believe he's a victim because of his skin color? And they spend hours trying to convince me that somehow my skin color is a setback. Imagine that. Imagine you, let's say you're a young kid and you're like, I can be anything I want in life. And someone comes and say, you can't be this, you can't be that, you can't be this. You ain't gonna be anything in life. People will accurately call that other person and say, hey, you're a bully. You're trying to limit this man's potential. This man's a young boy. Why are you trying to discourage him from chasing success, from chasing his dreams, from chasing his goals? People will chastise that person. But when it's a white liberal telling a black man how racism can stop them, no one comes to the rescue. You notice that, right? I can't be the only one that noticed that. Stories of a black conservative. But I digress. Let's listen to some quotes from someone that I hold very dear to my heart, to the point that I named my son after him. Wise people create civilizations over centuries, and clever people are dismantling it today. You can see it happening just by channel surfing on the TV, or hearing it in rap music, or reading it in pompous nonsense of academics and judges who are overwhelmingly liberal. Here's another quote, and this one is straight flames, fuego. Thomas Sowell, have we reached the ultimate stage of absurdity where some people are held responsible for things that happened before they were born? Imagine that. America's inherently racist. Who's alive during the 19th? Like, come on. It's baffling. This is why progress has never been seen. Oh, we still got a lot to go, because we got a lot of people still trying to keep us back there, because they need racism to exist, to continue perpetuating this victimhood narrative, because they get some sort of validation from it. That's why they want to keep this absurdity afoot, using race as an alibi, while other people are not held responsible for what they do themselves are doing today. Right? When black people are committing crimes, oh, it's not their fault. It's systematic racism. That's the reason why these black men are in jail. But you don't want to. But no one wants to bring up the fact that black men disproportionately commit more crimes than than their representation. That's why they go to jail at a disproportional rate than everyone else. No one want to bring that up, but they want to blame something else. You want to blame people for things that happened before they were born, and then at the same time, you want to blame things that happened before you were born for the current actions and behaviors you're displaying today. This is why I say your behavior decides your outcomes more than your race. I don't suffer from imagination. I suffer from reality. And it's crazy. Like they focus so hard liberals want racism to be a thing. This is the consequences of seeing color. That you become lazy in your thinking and you just attribute everything to it. Racial disparity, my skin color. Different outcomes, skin color. Not, oh, did you study like the Asian man study? No. Asians spend what? I don't know how many more hours. They spend more hours studying than the other group, than other groups. So if a black person come in and an Asian person come in, I give them both a test. Asian man pass, flying colors, probably 100%. You barely pass 77%. And then you're going to look at the Asian guy and you're going to be like, oh, this test is racist. It's catered to whiteness. The test is catered to whiteness. And I'm going to just sit there back and I'm going to ask a simple question. I'm going to be like, did you prepare for this test? No. Okay, and I go to the Asian person. Did you prepare for this test? Yes. White person. Did you prepare for this test? Yeah, I kind of did. Oh, okay. So this person spent how long you think you spent preparing for the test? White student, about 2 hours. Asian, five hours. Okay. You, 5 minutes before I came into the. Okay, then why are you surprised you got a different outcome than the rest of the students? And it's not just one factor, it's multiple factors. The Asian person gonna be like, oh yeah, I had a tutor. I had 5 hours with a tutor. White student said I did it with my parents. You, I just told you, I just, hanged out, played basketball at the park. Okay, so you didn't take the test seriously. You got the results of your behavior, and this is your outcome. How is the test based on whiteness? Because expecting people to study is a white culture thing. It's whiteness. No black man will stay up at night or spend any large amount of time studying for tests. Isn't that a limiting belief? And who put those limiting beliefs on black people? I'll wait. White liberals. Because they're saying, oh, you can't do something because of your skin color. You have a disadvantage because of your skin color. If white liberals are putting out messaging like that, what incentive does young black people have